put it on and then didn't. In my last class it didn't work at all either. So I might just like put this back on the screen because my video didn't work. So the next problem just requires that we graph right from the equation, so we don't have to do all the crazy writing of the equations, completing the square. It's still good practice for us to do that for these, but hopefully that makes sense. You guys will get some practice with that today. So, we good on that last one? Sorry, I changed the screen. Now this one right away jumps out at me. The y squared is first. That's telling me that it's going to be an up and down hyperbola. But also, if you start graphing this one, that's really large. Like it's like off our graph, and that's the kind Chloe hates. Like she asked one time if it's ever going to be off our graph on a test, and it could be. I try to like have it always work, but at the same time, you know, I tell you it's always going to be on, and you know, I don't want to make you think you're wrong just because I'm off. So, so in this case, we're going to switch over to now just talking about what to do with what we have right now. So first of all, my center, remember, is still always h and k. So this is 0, -1. So there's nothing here for my h. So my x coordinate of my center is 0. So I'm just going down -1 for my center. Now my A is going to be 9, and my B is going to be 8. So in the y direction, I'm going to go up and down 9. So I'm going up 9 and down 9, and then I'm going out 8. So again, really using a lot of the graph here. And our hyperbola just kind of follows those asymptotes. So trying to kind of like use that to show like how wide they are. Is it a big wide hyperbola, or is it skinny? So our vertices are at 0, 8 and 0, 10. Top and the bottom, and then to find my foci, it's going to be 81 plus 64. I believe it's 145, which is like 12 point something. I was in like 12.1. I had to guess. Not even, like 12.04 is my C. So I'm going to go up and down 12. So if I'm at -1, I go up 12, I'm up to like 11, and I'm down to like negative, is that like 13 down there? So my foci is 0, and that'll be like 11. And then 0, negative, like 13. No. Yeah, negative 13. Because we were at -1, we have to go down 12. So hopefully this is starting to feel better. And just so you guys know, some of the worksheet tonight will ask you to look back, maybe at some old sections of like some things I asked you guys to do before with circles and ellipses. I'm going to show you guys just a couple of circle and ellipse problems right now. Just pretty run-of-the-mill, but just know that we have older notes you might want to reference if you're struggling at all in the homework. So we'll talk about our So again, right now I'm still telling you it's going to be an ellipse. Like the problem says it's going to be an ellipse. So you don't have to determine that. Now ellipse is positive versus hyperbola being negative. So I don't have to worry about that negative sign there. So I'm just going to organize things again. Move that 156 over. And I'm going to factor. Leave a little space. What is that? 6? 5 by 16. Yes, 6. So we go to do our completing the square. We use b divided by 2 squared. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, squared is 4. But when I go to add it onto the other side, you're going to multiply it. So 4 times 25, so I'm going to add 100. Then I do negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3 squared is going to be 9. Now this one I don't have to worry about the negative like I did on the front side. So I do 16 times 9. I get 144. And you might be freaked out by the size of that number. It ends up working out to be nice still. Hopefully the factoring piece of this is kind of coming along. This ends up being 400 over here. And initially that sounds really kind of like huge, scary, like it's really not bad because we have these larger numbers over here we have to worry about dividing by. So we're dividing by 400 to all these parts. And have you caught it on with this yet? The 25 over 400 is a big pain to simplify, so I just divide 400 by 25. Let me get 16 for that. And then that means this one's going to be 25. So our ellipse center is negative 2, 3. So there's the center. Since our y has the bigger number underneath it, it means it's going to be the tall, thin ellipse. So when I go to do this, this is 5, this is 4. I'm going to go 5 in the y direction, which is going to pull my ellipse tall. And then I go out, which actually is, it's pretty wide, almost as wide as it is tall, not quite. So I'm going out in 4. So there's our ellipse. Now our vertices are the long way. So these two are my vertices. So when they ask for that, which I think I did in the beginning up there, so I have negative 2, 8. The other ones are called covertices. Obviously still important, but not quite as important. And then our foci in this case, just to maybe kind of reiterate that idea of the difference between hyperbolas and ellipses, to find my c value, this time I subtract them. So I do 25 minus 16. So my c is the square root of 9, which is just 3. So I'm going to go up and down 3, and that's our foci, like our focus points there. So it's just kind of good to recognize there's a difference between those two. And so I want to make sure that, the foci, like the rules for figuring them out are opposites for hyperbolas and ellipses. And then the last thing we're going to end with is our circle. And so again, some of the things we'll be doing on a worksheet maybe might need you to ask questions or kind of, again, go back in notes a little bit. It might give you a little bit of a struggle, but it's good for us to review that because this chapter's been kind of spread really long because of all of our kind of crazy days. So we'll go to our circle here. Now remember, our circle equation's a lot more basic. There's no division. All we need to do is get those factored. So this one, we go to set it up, and again, I have to kind of rearrange, but there's not as much to do. There's no factoring out to begin with. I'm going to move that -4 over. Same thing, b divided by 2 squared. So my b is -4 divided by 2 is 2 plus 4. Same thing over here. 6 divided by 2 is 3 squared is 9. Same thing over here. So we're ready to factor. And those two cancel, so I just get 9 as my r squared. It almost doesn't feel like you're doing enough now when we do circles because we've done so much with those other ones. Seems pretty straightforward. Where now our center is 2, -3, opposite signs there. And then I go every direction my r value, which is just going to be 3. It's the square root of 9. So I'm going to go up, down, left, and right, 3. I want to go for me here. And so we have our circle. So our worksheet is just kind of go through these 3 again. Like I said, on next class we'll learn a new type of, it's actually parabolas. We've known those before. We're just going to get a little bit more complex with them than